What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Pokemon FireRed. Last time, we made it to Cinnabar Island and got our final team member in Terra. And this time, we're gonna go through the Pokemon Mansion as well as the gym. And the reason we have to go through the Pokemon Mansion is the door is locked. So we have to go through the mansion to get the key to the gym. But before we do that, I actually want to go to my Pokemon tab and show that Terra is now on par with all of my other Pokemon. Level 41. Here are his stats, being very fast and very high physical attack. And these are the moves I decided to give him. I gave him Fly and Steel Wing from HMs and TMs. And then the Rock Slide move tutor from over in the Dark Tunnel. Or the Rock Tunnel, not the Dark Tunnel. But other than Terra, I also gave Hermes Calm Mind instead of Psybeam. And I also gave Zara Return over Secret Power. But with all of those gone over, Tortle and Zodiac also got a couple of levels up to 41 as well. But the main purpose was to just get Terra up to par. So now we just need to head into the Pokemon Mansion. And I actually want to throw on a repel real quick. There we go. And the way the Pokemon Mansion works is it's actually a series of switch puzzles. And there's a lot of different paths you can take and items that you can get throughout here. But there is a very specific path that will get you to the end where you need to go. But while I'm going through the Pokemon Mansion, there are actually 4 new Pokemon that you have access to now. And the first of them is Grimer. Grimer is actually an offensive poison type, which isn't a great type to be offensive because it's only super effective on, I think, grass types, which when half of the grass types are poison types and one of the other grass types is a psychic type, it's not the greatest balance. Grimer does have the upside of learning Sludge Bomb through level up, so you don't have to wait until post game to get Sludge Bomb on it, and it actually has an amazing TM list. But another big downside of it is it's miserably slow, and it makes Grimer kind of hard to use in the long run. But in Leaf Green, exclusively actually, you can find Grimer's evolved form Muck here. It's incredibly rare, only being found 5% of the time, making it decently difficult to find. And like I said, you can only find Muck in Leaf Green, while you can just catch a Grimer here in either of the games and almost immediately evolve it, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. But it is found at level 32, so it is decently leveled, and it's just basically a more powerful Grimer, so you don't have to worry about going through all the hassle of using a Grimer if you want to use a Muck. But next up is another poison type, this place is just full of them, is Coughing. Coughing is actually the defensive counterpart to Grimer, having higher defenses overall. But the other thing that makes it actually more defensive than Grimer is that it also has Levitate as an ability, making it immune to ground types, meaning it only has one weakness to psychic types, which is incredible. Although Psychic is the strongest type in this game, so it may be a double-edged sword at time. But Coughing is also an amazing support Pokemon because it's so defensive and only has the one weakness. It can just withstand hits and basically just set up and support your other Pokemon beforehand using stuff like Toxic and moves like that. It also has an amazing TM list, just being able to get a bunch of moves like Shadow Ball that allows it to have more coverage than just poison type moves. And in FireRed exclusively, you can actually find Coughing's evolved form, Wheezing, here. Again, it's super rare, only 5% of the time, but it is also found at level 32 and is just evolved coughing. And I talked about how good coughing is, so having a wheezing straight off the bat is even better. But now with all of them gone over, this is also another place you can find Ditto, and is one of the signature places to find Ditto, I would say, because, well, there's a lot of lore to this place that has to do with Mew and everything, and people theorize that Ditto is just a failed version of Mew. So on this bottom floor, you're able to find Ditto and everything. But on this bottom floor also, this Pokeball right here is the secret key that we were looking for. That is the key that we need to get inside of the gym. So we just need to press this switch. And I want to avoid the scientist because I don't really want to fight him right now. And then we need to run all the way over here. And I think I actually ran off without getting this item. And this is a full restore, which is pretty good. We also got the TM for Blizzard in here, which is probably the best ice type move that you'll get in this game, unless you want to do a lot of money grinding for Ice Beam, which is definitely more reliable than Blizzard is, but you do get Blizzard for free, so it's pretty nice. And I might actually teach it to Turtle if I don't want to go for Ice Beam. But we can just take this door, and it leads us out the front door, and we can head straight over to the gym. And we just head right inside, and yo, champ in the making! The Hothead Blaine is a fire Pokemon Pro. Douse his spirits with water. You better take some burn heals too. And we got Cinnabar Pokemon Gym leader Blaine, winner Gary. Of course, Gary is still ahead of us, although we haven't seen him since Silphco. And this is probably my least favorite gym. Well, no, second least favorite. The trash cans in Vermilion are definitely worse than this. But this is just a Pokemon quiz. Get it right and the door opens to the next room. Get it wrong and face a trainer. If you want to conserve Pokemon for the gym leader, then get it right. Here we go. Caterpie evolves into Metapod. And that is a yes. The other thing is, after you answer the questions, you can still fight these trainers, I believe. Let me just check that. I was a thief, but I went straight as a trainer. Yeah, you can... Basically, you can answer all the questions, open up to Blaine directly, and then go back and fight all the trainers if you want. What I'll do is I'm going to go through and I'll show you all of the correct answers for the quiz, just in case you don't want to fight the trainers. And then I'll go back and I'll fight all the trainers and heal and everything before we go into our final fight with Blaine. And this guy actually has 3 Pokemon, which is more than I was expecting. I'm gonna switch over to Turtle to make this slightly quicker. Finally, a time for my starter to shine. Water type Surf. Here we go. It's nice being able to finally have a use and a type advantage over a gym leader with Turtle when we've been fighting like grass types and electric types and psychic types and everything that have just been able to really overshadow Turtle for the real middle part of this game. And Burglar Quinn. Also, I surrender, but weird that they still give him the title of Burglar since he said he went straight after becoming a Pokemon trainer. They're just like, well, you stole before, so you must be a thief right now. Pokemon quiz. Get it right and the door open to the next Pokemon room. Get it wrong and face a trainer. Alright. There are 9 certified Pokemon League badges. No, there are only 8. You have 8 gym badges, and then technically you get something for beating the Elite Four, but that doesn't really count as a badge. Alright, get it wrong and face a trainer. What's our next question? Poliwag evolves 3 times. This is the hardest question in this gym because technically Poliwag does evolve 3 times, but it only evolves twice either way you go, and in this game, Politoed is only in the post game, so technically right now, Poliwag can only evolve twice. So the answer is no. That is the biggest trick question in this game specifically, because Politoed does exist. Alright, get it right and open the door. Get it wrong, face the trainer. What's our next question? Electric moves are effective against ground type Pokemon. No, ground types are immune to electric types. Actually, the exact opposite of what that question is asking. And next one, Pokemon quiz. And our next question is, Pokemon of the same kind and level are not identical. That is true, but the reasoning for it being true is actually abilities can be different, IVs and EVs can be different, and natures make them different. So there are actually 4 things in total that make Pokemon not identical, even if they're the same species and level. So the answer is yes. And is there one more? Or yeah, there's one more. And what is the question for this one? TM28 contains Tome Stony. Well, that's a new one. I've never heard of Tome Stony. I think I'll have to look. I think the move is Tombstone, but the answer is no. And I need to look up what that is now. It was 28. 28 is Dig. Oh, okay. Cool. Nowhere near correct. But now that we're at Blaine, I'm going to go heal and fight all the gym trainers, and we'll be right back to take them on. I interrupt your regularly scheduled gym challenge to bring you 2 Pokemon I completely forgot existed. So the first one is Showdown. Showdown is a FireRed exclusive using the Super Rod, and it becomes a really defensive monster after it evolves, getting one of the highest defense stats in the game, making it pretty good at taking physical attacks. It has a couple of downsides, however. The first is that when it evolves, it gets the ice typing, which makes it a little bit more offensive, but being a defensive Pokemon, it gives it 2 extra weaknesses that it didn't have as just a water type. The other things are that if you evolve it early, you miss out on Ice Beam, which it gets at level 50, which is insane. And it's stuck with Aurora Beam unless you use a TM on it. And speaking of TMs, Shoulder and Cloyster, once it evolves, only learns water, ice, and normal type moves through any possible way of it learning moves at all. So you're stuck with only those 3 types of moves to deal any damage whatsoever. But with that being said, the other Pokemon that can be found here is Staryu. Staryu is Shoulder's leaf green counterpart, also caught with the Super Rod. It becomes an amazing special sweeper. However, it gains the psychic typing upon evolving, becoming a water psychic type, which is a great offensive typing. The biggest downside to that is it learns 0 psychic type moves, however, which is weird because we have the psychic TM, but it just can't learn it for whatever reason. It only learns water type moves and rapid spin through leveling up, so you're pretty reliant on TMs and HMs for it to actually do stuff. But it does learn both Thunderbolt and Ice Beam through TM, which will cost you a nice $160,000. But perfectly covers the entire list of types not being resisted by any type. So it could cause at least neutral damage on everything by just using those two moves. But with that being said, those are the only two Pokemon that I have forgotten about entirely. So, back to the gym challenge. Alright, we are back after defeating all the gym trainers and going to go heal. And it is time to face Blaine. Ha! I am Blaine, the red-hot leader of Cinnabar Gym. My fiery Pokemon are all rough and ready with intense heat. They incinerate all challengers. Ha! You better have Burn Heal. Well, Blaine, you are probably the least suited type to challenge my team because I have at least 3 Pokemon that are super effective on fire types. But with that being said, this is going to be Terra's first actual battle, at least on screen. And his first Pokemon is a level 42 Growlithe, pure fire type with Intimidate as its ability. And the moves, Bite, Roar, Fire Blast, and Takedown. And we're just going to Rock Slide this. I also went ahead and gave Terra a hard rock to power up his rock type moves, is what I'm trying to say. Oh, well, that seems extreme. I'm gonna switch over the turtle for this. Blaine apparently wants to pull out his big guns right away, because his next Pokemon is a level 47 Arcanine. This is his strongest Pokemon, pure fire type with Intimidate as its ability. And the moves Bite, Roar, Fire Blast, and Takedown. It has the exact same moveset as his Growlithe for some reason. And does this? No, it does not. That's gonna put him... I thought it was gonna do more damage to him. I don't know if he heals here. Oh, apparently he doesn't heal here. Oh, nice crit, Turtle. Definitely needed it. God damn it, Turtle. Turtle now level 43 is nice. And he's bringing out Ponyta, so I'm going to switch back to Terra. Alright, his next Pokemon is a level 40 Ponyta. Pure fire type with Flash Fire as its ability, so don't hit it with fire type moves. And the moves Stomp, Fire Blast, Bounce, and Fire Spin. And we're just rock sliding once again. Not even a problem. Like I said, my team is very well suited to fight against fire types. And Blaine's last Pokemon is a level 42 Rapidash, pure fire type with Flash Fire as its ability. And the moves Stomp, Fire Blast, Bounce, and Fire Spin. Basically just a powered up version of his Ponyta. Also, this is gonna hurt a little bit. Oh, that wasn't bad at all. Did we hit the rock slide this time, Terra? Thank you. Yeah, and that is Blaine taken down. Player defeated leader Blaine. I have burned down to nothing, not even ashes remain. You have earned the Volcano Badge. Ha! The Volcano Badge heightens the special stats of your Pokemon. Here, you can have this too. We received TM38, which I believe is Fire Blast. The ultimate fire technique. Don't waste it on a water Pokemon. What water type learns Fire Blast? Like, legitimately. But also, what he was saying is that the Volcano Badge actually does have a badge boost associated to it. And it's probably the best one in the game because it raises both special attack and special defense of all your Pokemon. So it's a really nice boost to have, and that boost is by 10% like all the other badge boosts. Hey, if it isn't Phoenix. Look, it's me, Bill, long time no see. I hope you're still using my PC system. Well, listen, since we met up here, how about spending time with me? there's this little island in the far south called One Island. A friend invited me, so I'm on my way out there. How about it? Feel like coming with me? No thanks, not right now. What? Are you too busy? Well, alright. The boat hasn't arrived yet anyway. I'll be waiting at the Pokemon Center over there. Come see me when you're done with your business here. So, Bill's basically inviting us on another side quest, but I don't really want to go to the Sevi Islands right now, which is where he's inviting us to go. So I'm going to leave that till later, but I think we're going to call this an episode. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, I'm going to just pull up my map. And next time, we're going to head over to the Seafoam Islands and actually explore the whole place this time. But until then, happy adventuring.